I have all my little seedling babies in the great outdoors today. They're all getting used to the outside elements. It's a nice mild day, so it's a really good day for them to be out here. And generally what I do is I leave them out for a couple hours the first day, and then I just gradually increase it, and I pay really close attention to them to make sure that they are doing okay. If they start to look like they're not doing okay or they're not enjoying it, then I can bring them back inside at any point. But the other thing I think I might do is get another one of these little seedling stands. It's so convenient and I really like it. So I think having another one of those would be great. Even once I have the greenhouse set up, I think those would be really nice to have in there. And I really like the bamboo. But everybody is out here just sitting in the shade. It is kind of like a mildly sunny day. It's not like as hot as it has been. And it is supposed to start raining on and off. I have collected this. It's pretty big. And it's piled up a bit. So this is the first round of leaves for mulching. So what I'm going to do first is water this raspberry bed and get these raspberries mulched. I oftentimes see toads in here. I haven't seen them in a while, actually a couple days, a few days maybe, 3, I'm not sure. But I'll be very careful of leaving space for them. They often burrow right there. And they're either very, very burrowed or they're not there at the moment. But I'll be careful to leave them spaces to be as well. raspberries are done. Just got back from the really awesome farmers market that happens in this town. And it's year-round too, so it's every Saturday year-round, which I think is incredible. So I was just going to show you the things I picked up. I got this awesome soup mix, jambalaya. Apparently it's not super spicy. You kind of add your own spice slash your own protein, but it's just the soup mix, and I love jambalaya, so I'm great with that. I did end up picking up a sun gold tomato. I wasn't going to grow them this year, but they're really good, and since there was a baby plant, I figured I'd just grab one. I got some lemon verbena. Mine didn't start correctly this year. I also got a green zebra tomato because someone that I was talking to said they're really good. And then I also got a thyme. I kind of just forgot to start thyme. And it's a perennial, so I figure I can plant that here and have it for a while. I got this awesome tea towel. I really love tea towels. And I have an interesting collection. This is like a local artist that then puts her art on tea towels. It's not just like a mass-produced thing. And she also did this sticker, which I love. I got two of these. I can't remember which is which, but one of them is, they're both Saskatoon, obviously, but one of them is Saskatoon vanilla, and the other one is Saskatoon lavender lemon, maybe, or something. Like Saskatoon and lavender are the main things, and there's one other thing in there with it. And these are like a fermented drink mix, like a vinegar kind of. So when you mix it, I have a soda stream. When you mix it with the carbonated water, it's sort of like kombucha, but it's fermented, which I like. And I'll show you that later on because I already have one of these open in my fridge. So I'll show you what I do with it. And then the last thing I got is this absolutely gorgeous mug. I do not need another mug. Absolutely do not need another mug. But I couldn't resist. It's very round and it's just got like the perfect handle and it's really beautiful colors. So I just couldn't resist. I was also greeted by the most amazing dragonfly. I'll add a clip of that. It's really windy outside today. Of course, you can't really tell right this second. But anyway, I think this little dragonfly, well, it was a big dragonfly. I think it got wind shocked or something, and my dog kind of was not really pawing at it, but kind of trying to play with it because it was one of the like really big ones. And so I rescued it from my dog, and it like hung out on me for a little while, I think, until it sort of kind of regained itself. But I think maybe it got like the wind knocked out of it or something, because it flew off just fine. It didn't, like, its wings were great. It didn't look like it had any damage. So anyway, but that was really cool to see. Okay, it's time to take all these babies inside. A few of them are being quite dramatic about being outside for the first time. This huckleberry is especially upsetty spaghetti. So actually those tomatoes back there are quite upset as well. They've been out here for about 2 hours, so I'm gonna go ahead and take them back in, make sure that they perk back up once they're inside. And then tomorrow they'll be coming outside again, hopefully for longer. All right, so I went ahead and put in my chocolate peppers, my Jimmy Nardellos, and then some of my purple beauties right here. I do have a few little peppers to use for succession in a little while. Not sure exactly where those are going to go. They'll probably go in a different spot of the garden. I do have these beds started now, so the garden will be expanding over to this area as well. Next in are my Scotia tomatoes. These are a determinate variety, so they will grow more like a bush than a vine, which makes them a good fit for this part of the garden. They are going to go right along here. So you may notice these are a tiny bit leggy. The nice thing about tomatoes is you can go ahead and plant them up higher, and all these little hairs will turn into roots. Now with a determinant tomato, you don't want to prune it because determinants only grow so much. So anything you prune, you're losing fruit. However, when we get to the vining tomatoes, we will want to prune those. So you can see I've buried it almost right up to those first leaves there. And like I said, it'll just grow more roots, which will help the plant be strong in its new home. So that's a great idea for any tomato. I leave tomorrow for my rescheduled work trip. I've got this new bed set up. I've got everything planted out. I've also got this bed created and partially filled. And I am tarping this area to get rid of all the weeds. This very edge part over here is definitely going to be part of kind of a circle driveway situation, but the rest of this is either going to be veggies or flower beds, depending. My goal for someday, I don't have a time frame, I would really like this pathway over here on the other side of all this bramble. I really want to get a polytunnel for there, or some kind of, you know, similar structure that's big. I have a fairly long growing season here, but that would really expand it a lot. And my goal, again, long-term goal, is to be growing everything I need here to not really have a grocery bill. I'm a vegetarian, semi-vegan, so I don't need to go anywhere to buy meat. I don't need to raise animals for meat, all that kind of stuff. I'm growing a lot of plants that are high in protein, like quinoa, garbanzo beans, other beans, and I can create a lot of things from those to get in the protein that I need. But I just wanted to give you an update now that things are getting quite a bit more settled. Things are cleaned up over here. That's just a trash bag and a couple things that need to be sifted through. This bramble is going to get, once the tarp is done doing its job, hopefully by the time there's not a lot of weeds under there. It's a lot of grass and some weeds, but I'm hoping by the time I get back from my work trip, I'll be gone for about 12 days. I'm hoping that this may even have done its job by then, and I can start spreading out the smaller stuff over here in through around all that, so that I can start using some of the logs that are on the other side of this little pile to create more beds and keep that going. And then I can spread this, you know, over that to help fill some of the beds. I only had just enough wood chips to put in my second walkway, so I now have 3 walkways between beds. So sometime when I get back, I am going to be renting that wood chipper, especially now that this space is cleaned up a little more. So I'll be able to wood chip all those and use those for the rest of the pathways and anywhere else that I decide I need them. So things are in.